My name is Nishant Mehta. I'm a second-year MBA student at the Tuck School of Business at Dartmouth College. I'm also an MBA fellow at the Tuck's Center for Digital Strategies. I'm pleased to welcome Mike Angus, Head of Global Payment Strategy at MasterCard Advisors. Mike is joining us today as part of the Brit Technology Impact Series. Mike, welcome to Tuck and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Nishant.
In terms of creating an impact on businesses, how big a deal is big data?
Let me answer the question two ways. First of all, for MasterCard. My job in MasterCard is I work in MasterCard Advisors, which is a services arm of MasterCard, and I work in the consulting services part. So I get the advantage of seeing the impact of business decisions and technologies on MasterCard, but I also get to look at many of our clients as well, which are mainly banks, but more and more becoming merchants and mobile companies and other players in the payments industry. So let me answer it from both ways. For MasterCard, the impact is enormous, but the impact on us is really as an opportunity to create valuable assets that we can offer to our clients, our existing clients and even new clients as well. MasterCard sees a huge number of payment transactions, and while we have no idea who the people behind those transactions are, because all the data we get is anonymized, we can put together, we see so many, we can put together really interesting trends that banks can use, that merchants can use, even individuals and governments can use to try and predict various things. And we're just at the beginning of figuring out how to create value with that. So for us, it's one of our most important growth opportunities, is taking a vast amount of transactional information, which is real behavioral information, and converting it into assets that other people can use. For our clients, who I get to work with as well, it's obviously going to have an enormous impact as well. So you can imagine for banks. Banks do a variety of things, offer a variety of products, and the kind of information that our purchasing information can give them is an idea of the latest trends that are going on. It can help them with risk management so that they can be much more competitive in offering working capital to individuals or to companies. And for other merchants, you can imagine how understanding purchasing trends and where people are purchasing, how valuable that can be. So for all of the clients that we deal with, it can have a huge impact on making their business more effective and more efficient. But I think we're just at the front end.
People need to unleash their imagination as to what is possible with big data. Can you give an example or two of what can occur as we stretch boundaries with big data?
People need to stretch their imagination. There's a number of constraints in using big data. One of the things that we learn is how difficult it is to actually acquire it. Acquire it and cleanse it so that it's useful, and then store it in the right way. So doing all of that is enormously difficult. And we've invested literally tens of millions of dollars over a number of years trying to do that. Even once you've done that, though, we've discovered it's not nearly as valuable as when you combine it with other people's data. And of course that presents a whole new round of problems as well. And then the final aspect is really one that's front and center right now, and that's privacy. Because some of the things that I can imagine, and that many people can imagine we could use big data for, runs right into what individuals and governments worry about it being used for. So one of the examples that I think about, because MasterCard's in the payment business mainly right now, we're more of a technology company, or becoming more of a technology company, but our core is really in the payments business, is with mobile payments. A lot of people talk about mobile payments. There's a lot of value you could create in mobile payments, but one of the ways it gets talked about a lot is for merchants to be able to know a lot about individuals and offer them really good deals while they're in a store. And that requires significant amounts of information, both about the individual, what other people like them, value, and also integrated in a merchant thing. But it does run right into that. You need the permission of the person. So there's some serious thinking that has to be done about how to offer things that are valuable for either individuals or companies using big data, but not going over the line on what is acceptable to them and acceptable to others in terms of privacy.
So besides the privacy issue, are there any other risks or limitations that you can associate with using big data?
Well, the one side of the privacy is making sure that it's secure as well, and we have spent again vast amounts of money securing the information so it doesn't get access. But that's always something you have to worry about, and I think that's sort of technology or information technology in general. It's the usefulness versus how hard it is to get at the data and how secure you make it. So I think the information security side is going to be another barrier as we go forward.
Got it. So what other questions should we be asking about big data?
One of the things I mentioned briefly is how do you identify what other data would make the data you have more valuable or more applicable or easier to offer in a good way, and so identifying those other sets of data, the partners that you can work with, how to structure those partnerships, and then technically how to do it in a secure manner, I think is going to be something that's that demands a lot of attention going forward. There's a lot of data out there, but you really have to capture it, store it, and then put it together with the right other data to be really successful.
Mike, on behalf of the Center for Digital Strategies at Tuck, I'd like to thank you for speaking with us today. We appreciate your insights and thoughts. This has been Nishant Mehta for the Center for Digital Strategies at the Tuck School of Business.